It looks like it's northeastern Clark County in across southern Lee. So let's go ahead and see if we can get the latest on that. That also from the Quad Cities office. This includes a tornado warning for northwestern Hancock, southwestern Henderson, central Lee, and central Clark counties. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Vincennes. That's about 9 miles west of Nauvoo, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour as radar indicated rotation. So again, flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. You need to evacuate your mobile home. You need to stay away from windows, preferably get underground if you can in a basement. If not, an interior room away from windows is most preferable. So this particular thunderstorm will be near Fort Madison, Nauvoo, West Point, Montrose, New Boston, Nauvoo State Park, Charleston, Fort Madison Municipal Airport at about 5:55. Then Denmark, Nyota, Sawyer, right around 6. Pontusic, Augusta, Weaver, and the Welter Recreation Area at about 6:05. Other paths in this tornadic thunderstorm do include Burlington, West Burlington, Middletown, Spring Grove, the Des Moines County Fairgrounds, Carthage Lake, Burlington Regional Airport, Dodgeville, Big Hollow Recreation Area, and Lone Tree. So again, you need to take cover, move to a basement or interior room, the lowest floor of a sturdy building, and avoid windows, and get out of a mobile home, or if you're in a vehicle, get to the closest substantial shelter. Protect yourself from flying debris. So we have 2 warnings out that are included in this particular area. This includes especially the central portions of Lee County, as well as what we have going on just immediately to the north. This will be approaching Highway 34 here very, very soon, just to the northwest of Burlington. So 2 distinct tornado warnings that are in effect. These both go until 6:30 tonight. Now, as we take a look at the inbound, outbound winds on both these thunderstorms, one of which is very prevalent, and that would be this particular signature now across southwestern Lee County, just to the northwest of Keokuk, west of Highway 2, just west of Highway 218, south of Donaldson. Not really seeing anything with the northern storm as we did just a few minutes or so ago. As we look at the various indicators here, just really not seeing it, but this one is very, very pronounced with the velocity signatures. So that would be a lot more suspicious than the one to the north. Not saying that you're out of the woods yet, but this one in particular, south of Donaldson especially, that looks a little bit on the suspicious side. And again, these storms are moving very quickly off to the northeast at about 55 miles an hour. So we can maybe zoom in a little bit and get a little more focus on some of the specific low townships here. Argyle, moving right across Highway 27 now, just to the west of New Boston, north of 300th Street, south of 255th. So heads up Donaldson, and especially if you're just southeast of Donaldson, Iowa, you need to be in your place of safety as all this continues to move off to the northeast. This is all part of a line of some very vigorous thunderstorms that have been moving through. Much of these have been severe in nature. As we zoom out, we have a number of severe thunderstorm warnings that do continue all across eastern, northeast Missouri, mainly west of the Mississippi River, but now we're starting to see it kind of approach the Mississippi River in a lot of spots. Mount Pleasant, you're on the far northern edge of that one particular tornado-warned storm, and we'll go ahead and put the velocity back in. And again, not seeing a whole lot with this northern warned storm south of Mount Pleasant near Houghton, but definitely some of this area of rotation that's coming in on the radar tracker right here just to the southwest of Fort Madison. We've had no ground verification with these two distinct thunderstorms. If you happen to see damage or happen to see something going on, you can contact your local law enforcement agency and they will relay that report to the National Weather Service office. And that would be the Quad Cities. And those are the only two warnings that we're keeping a very close eye on at this time. A lot of heavy rainfall associated with this. Definitely, there could be some wind damage here as this particular storm crosses 255th Street, moving to the northeast very quickly, about 55 miles an hour. So it's just going to skim just to the south of Donaldson and to the east of Donaldson as it comes on Highway 2 to the west of Nauvoo. Keeping a very close eye on this northern storm as well. We're just not seeing a lot of good data with that as we are with this one southern part. So again, Hancock, you're included in this, as well as Clark County, although I think Clark County, you may be out of the woods as far as that immediate threat is concerned. So definitely Lee and into Des Moines County. And Henderson, you're a little farther to the east. So if you're just joining us here, and we had to interrupt our nightly news report, but we have two tornado warnings that are in effect, both of which that are in effect till 6:30 tonight. Radar indicated rotation with two severe thunderstorms, one of which that was moving across parts of eastern Iowa, and another moving out of northeast Missouri into southeastern Iowa, Lee County, Van Buren, Des Moines, Henry County. This was originally detected on radar near Bonaparte, or 10 miles east of Keosauqua, moving northeast 55 miles an hour. This one is the one that has the most pronounced signature. There may be two very distinct signatures here that are showing up on radar, but that radar beam is just a little too far away from my comfort, but nonetheless, it's being picked up here very well, which would definitely indicate that there is something going on with this severe thunderstorm. And again, to the north, we're just not seeing that distinct signature. Yet if you happen to experience any damage or notice wind damage from a distance, you can contact your law enforcement agency and they'll let the Weather Service know. And word for the National Weather Service circulation with that severe thunderstorm and tornado warning near New Boston strengthening at the low levels. They're increasing their concern for tornado threat. So that's Lee, Hancock, Henderson, and Des Moines. They did cancel the warning for Clark County in northeast Missouri. So Clark County, you're in the clear. Doubt that I'll be able to see it if it's kicking up any debris with this particular layer. No, it's hard to tell. We'll go ahead and take a look at the inbound, outbound. Okay, becoming a lot more distinct now. You can see the bright green and the bright red within this particular area that I just highlighted. So it's just to the northwest of Montrose, southeast of Donaldson. It's going to be coming up on the intersection of Highway 61 just to the west of Fort Madison. So you need to be definitely in your safe place. Again, basement is preferred, if not an interior room without windows. Some people seek shelter in a bathtub and make sure that they're covered up. and that works as well too. Again, not really concerned with the northernmost. There's just not a whole lot that's showing up there, and they may go ahead and nope, they're going to continue that warning as well. Van Buren, you're out of the warned area. They've cleared you. They've cleared Clark, so we'll go ahead and see the progression of this. And again, if you were in the path, Fort Madison, Houghton, I think you'll be just on the far northern tier as this makes its way to the east of Donaldson. But again, Donaldson residents, you need to be in your safe place. Fort Madison, you need to be in your safe place. And that is the latest that we have on that. So again, the Quad Cities National Weather Service Office keeping a very close eye on the circulation near New Boston. That was about almost 5 minutes ago, which increased in the low levels. And again, Clark and Van Buren counties, you've been cleared of that particular warning. So again, this is the area of concern now crossing just to the east of Donaldson, to the west of Fort Madison. This area of rotation that you can see. And that's Highway 2. So it's crossing Highway 2 just to the northwest of Nauvoo and to the west of Fort Madison. West Point Road is another crossroad. So it's between 200th and West Point Road. And that's to the south of West Point. Here's County Highway 103. So again, this is a pretty large area of concern. But again, the radar beam is still quite a bit away. So as the radar is actually looking at about perhaps maybe 7,000 feet, 6,000 feet in altitude. I'm looking for any other updates on this, and so far, none. And they do confirm that second area of rotation developed southwest of Fort Madison, west of Montrose. So that verifies what we've been kind of keeping an eye on. These cells continue to push to the northeast. A lot of these thunderstorm cells are also merging. The rotation is quite a bit deep, so they're expecting that this may last a bit. No reported tornadoes yet, but this is heading to the northeast, very close to Burlington. They may indeed be packing in quite a bit of punch with the winds. And we'll see if we can clear that. And it's not allowing me to clear it. There we go. Okay, so we're going to go back to reflectivity, and I can tell you that this is also packing quite a bit of punch with the rainfall as well as that wind circulation just coming up on Fort Madison. So we can broaden out and show you the two areas that are impacted with this. one of which that is coming across Des Moines County. That's the one that we're keeping a very close eye on into central Lee County. And another one that is enveloped a good part of southern Henry County, although that does not look as impressive as it did not too long ago. Rainfall beginning to weaken just a bit as it approaches the Mississippi River, Marion, parts of Rawls County, even though you've got a severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued. This rainfall has lessened in intensity, but still, this is ongoing here across parts of southeastern Iowa. And we'll put this new, since we got a new scan in, we'll go ahead and take a look at this. Again, two very distinct areas of circulation we're keeping an eye on just to the west of Fort Madison. This would be some deep circulation. This would be definitely a damaging wind event. Moving east of Donaldson, I think you're pretty much out of the woods. Denmark, you need to be in your place of safety. Fort Madison, if you have not moved to yours, you need to. Weaver, this is coming right at you. Sawyer, all passing just to the south of West Point. Again, if you happen to have any damage reports, any downed tree limbs, power lines, etc., just let your local law enforcement agency know. Or if you are a train spotter, of course, by all means, let the National Weather Service know what you have seen. And we do not have any other updates from the National Weather Service on these two particular storms. And again, I'm just kind of looking through to see if we've got anything verified. They are going to continue the tornado warning for Lee, Des Moines, and Henry counties. And this goes till 6:30. All right, so that's this one particular storm, again, that we're keeping a very close eye on, just to the west of Fort Madison. Again, no confirmed tornado yet, but with the deepening circulation that we've noticed here just in the amount of time that we've been on the air, this would be putting down some pretty good wind. Okay, we just got the new radar scan in, so again, just skimming the western part of Fort Madison and to the south of Denmark. There we go. We're a little bit closer looking here on that. Just to the east of West Point Road and west of 303rd Avenue. Denmark, you need to be in your place of safety as well. Also picking up some weak circulations here across parts of Hancock County, but not certain if that is because of what is taking place here across Lee County. We'll keep an eye on that and keep an eye on the National Weather Service statements here. Right, so if you're just joining us, we preempted the local news coverage here to let you know about the tornado warning. Actually, two distinct tornado warnings, one of which that came out, they both came out at about 5:45. One of which across parts of northern Lee County. This was more across Henry County that moved into Des Moines County. Not so much concerned about that at this point, but right here, certainly across central Lee, to the northwest of Fort Madison now. A distinct area of rotation, which is indicative of damaging wind. A possible tornado, although there's nothing confirmed. They've not had any notification with any previous spotter report, but radar did indicate some pretty good rotation with that one particular thunderstorm. Thus, the tornado warning was issued. as a precaution. So as this continues, as we get new radar scans and continuing to progress to the northeast, we're seeing two distinct different areas. Again, the one is inbound wind from the radar site. The other one is outbound wind. So the circulation, it would indicate some pretty good tight, what we call gate-to-gate shear. Now it looks a little bit more on the disorganized side, or what we call the dirty side. This may be weakening a bit. Denmark, it is just to your south and just to the north of Highway 61. So again, this tornado warning is good until 6:30 tonight for this particular area. That is Lee County, as well as Des Moines, Henry, and Van Buren. They're maintaining the severe thunderstorm warning in addition to the tornado warning that's in place. All right, so we'll pop it back up on reflectivity, let you know the intense rainfall associated with this. Very intense rain across parts of northwestern Hancock County. This extends all the way to Keokuk, even Carthage. It's just on your western fringe. Some pretty good rainfall will be approaching Burlington in just a very short while. There's that one tornado warning that was in effect for northern Lee. I think that will be more for Henry and Des Moines counties. This is the one for central Lee. And that would also be affecting Des Moines as well as Henderson. And again, Clark County, Van Buren County, you've been cleared of that warned area. All right, so we'll go back to the inbound, outbound, and take a look and see if there's any. No, it's just really not coming in very well, but still indicating some pretty good wind with that particular storm cell. No further updates from the Quad Cities. But again, there's a possibility that there's some pretty good wind here to the southwest of Burlington, just south of Danville, and to the east-southeast of West Point. That's all in Iowa. Dallas City, I think you'll be in decent shape, except you are getting some pretty good rainfall as we speak. Yep. There's that heavy rain, severe thunderstorm warning still being maintained. In addition to that, the tornado warning. So with every single radar sweep, this is becoming a little less well defined, but we'll have to see. All right, so they've just canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Van Buren, southeastern Jefferson counties. That's been canceled. There's also a possibility this could also be very well rain-wrapped because it is right in the center of that rainfall, that intense rainfall for Madison, Denmark. Other spots just to the east of West Point. So that's the rain. This is the wind, and it's becoming a much less defined. Moving into far northeastern Lee County. Also moving across into parts of far northern Hancock, and that would also be in across Henderson County. Again, you need to be in your place of safety. Weaver, you need to be in the basement. South Augusta, it's right upon you. Fort Madison, you're on the backside. It's still raining, but it looks as though you'll be pretty much in the clear. So they are still continuing the tornado warning that's in effect for northwestern Hancock, southwestern Henderson, central Des Moines, northeastern Lee counties. That goes until 6:30 tonight. And we are getting some intense wind at our studios here just east of downtown Quincy. So we're going to keep it here until it moves out of our coverage area, and or if it's canceled early. So again, Burlington, you're in Des Moines County. You'll be seeing this come upon your doorstep here in just a short while as it moves out of northeastern Lee County. So again, this is the tornado warning that's in effect. This goes until 6:30, as you can see on the top of your screen. And we'll put this back on reflectivity, take a look at everything else going on. Again, some pretty good rainfall now from Carthage all the way to Keokuk. Now starting to make its way east of the Mississippi River. This line is not nearly as thick as it was when it was across parts of western Missouri. Keep in mind the tornado watch that is in effect. This goes, we'll pop it up here on the screen. This is in addition to the tornado watch. That's the areas in yellow highlighted. Where it's orange, it's a severe thunderstorm warning. In the pink, it is a severe thunderstorm watch. That goes until 11 o'clock tonight. The tornado watch goes until 7 o'clock this evening. And we'll put it back on the latest in the Doppler radar. And this is going to take just a little bit to load. All right. There we go. Okay, lots of lightning associated with this. We'll turn that layer off. And take a look at the inbound, outbound wind. Well, it's looking a little bit better than it did just the last radar sweep, but this is the area of concern. Crossing Highway 61, moving to the northeast. So Burlington, you're going to be getting this most definitely here within just a few minutes or so. South of Danville, east of West Point, and now just to the northeast of Fort Madison. Dallas City, you're pretty much safe from this particular storm. But again, this is producing some pretty good rainfall. Again, if there is any tornado indicated within this, it would be most definitely rain wrapped within the heavy rainfall. We've not had any further updates from the National Weather Service office. The Quad Cities, they oversee this particular area. There could also be some hail, although hail hasn't been really reported with a lot of this thunderstorm activity, but damaging wind, most definitely. So again, east of Denmark, this is all just to the southwest of Burlington, southeast of Danville. Again, Burlington, you need to be in your place of safety now, preferably underground or an interior room without windows. Protect yourself from flying debris. Just seek shelter and use common sense. Heavy rainfall associated with this, and again, a flood watch is in effect through early tomorrow morning for mainly counties west of the Mississippi River across northeast and eastern Missouri. There's the rainfall just to the southwest of Burlington, Middletown, Iowa. Heavy rains, pretty good rainfall around Denmark. And then we look at the wind profile. Again, this is it's not as tight, but it's definitely there. Inbound, outbound wind from the radar site in Davenport as it looks to the southwest as this makes its way off to the northeast. And we'll go ahead and get rid of my artwork. There we go. And we'll move this over just a bit. Highway 61, keep in mind that there will be some ponding of water on the highway, especially Highway 406. And that would be later on tonight, Highway 34, as it crosses from Burlington into eastern Iowa. So two very distinct areas here that we're keeping an eye on, straddling Highway 61 just to the south and southwest of Burlington. Okay, there was a funnel cloud report near Middletown. Rotation north of Fort Madison has broadened just a bit, but that's about it. And technically, it has moved out of our neck of the woods. So, tell you what, Mason and our friends in South Bend will go ahead and kind of throw it back to regular programming at this time. We'll continue to monitor this for a strong wind or any further radar updates from our friends at the Quad Cities National Weather Service office. But in the meantime, that's going to do it with our coverage on this end.
Warning in addition to that Lee County, it's parts of St. Paul up toward the Houghton, Iowa area under a tornado warning storm at this time. So if I look at this, Houghton, you're still seeing a pretty intense thunderstorm. St. Paul, look out, it is coming down hard over St. Paul and all of northeastern Lee County, Denmark, Fort Madison, up into the Burlington area. Again, I'm going to kind of want to watch here what Brent Clare was telling us here at Emergency Management in Adams County about a storm down in Monroe County. So there it is. You can see a little bit on the intense side here as it's in parts of eastern Monroe County near the Monroe City area. A definite indicator here of some pretty strong hail. I'm going to put this on stop and just going to get a quick glance at what this is saying within the storm itself. Right now it's saying our hail here within the storm looks like it is approximately 1 inch in diameter. So that's a pretty good size hail. Severe thunderstorm warning until 6:30 for all of Marion County and Marion County and looks like Lewis County. They have not pulled the trigger to pull this across the river into the Quincy area just yet. As far as a severe thunderstorm warning, it is possible it might, the Quincy area may not quite see as intense of a thunderstorm, but the one that's to the south of it looks like it is producing some pretty strong wind gusts. In addition to that, some hail. So this is where the tornado warning storms are at this time. We do have one tornado warning for the southeastern portions of Lee County that is valid until 6:30, and then the one to the north is also valid until 6:30. It looks like it will exit the northern portion of Lee County here rather quickly, and then we will see that tornado warning storm exit the region. So Houghton right now and St. Paul still under the tornado warning storm. In addition to that, Fort Madison, Nauvoo, Donaldson area under a tornado warning storm. That one really has our attention because it is showing some pretty good signs of some rotation, and it's been more than one scan continuing to show rotation, So if you are near Donaldson, near Nauvoo, that is the impact zone that we're watching. I haven't had any indications, it's a little far away from radar, of any debris situations going on, but this is, again, a severe thunderstorm warning for the region. That severe thunderstorm warning continuing to track to the north and to the northeast through Lee County. Fort Madison area, you are going to be under the gun shortly, but it is right now between Donaldson and Nauvoo, and it has just hopped across here from 27 down around 218, and that's the area where we're watching. So if you are looking from Nauvoo and you're getting really heavy rain in the Nauvoo area right now, all of this again north of the Keokuk area, but tornado warned storms were here across the region. Those tornado warned storms continue to progress from the north, from the southwest to the northeast. So we've got until 6:30. It's likely going to exit the area before that. But these are the severe two areas. The one to the north of us, not quite as impressive in where St. Paul is. It looks like it's all up here near the Mount Pleasant area. It is likely the National Weather Service will trim this off just a little bit and continue to progress that out of the Lee County area. But right now, Lee County, Fort Madison area, you are under the gun to see the potential here for a tornado warned storm. It is just to the north of the Nauvoo area and also just, again, north of Nauvoo and headed toward the Fort Madison area. Severe thunderstorms, we have them, and it is a narrow line of storms. That narrow line of storms has produced some severe thunderstorm warnings in addition to the tornado warned storms that we have out there. I don't have any damage reports from anybody just yet. I don't know if Adams County's got anything from any neighboring counties that are out there, but the National Weather Service on their Slack, our chat service with them, has not had any reports of any of the severe thunderstorms at this time. So this is what we've been watching. Again, a couple of severe thunderstorm potentials that are here. And right now, the National Weather Service in St. Louis, I'm just kind of monitoring their feed right now to see if there's any. Just got a 45-mile-an-hour wind gust down in the estimated down in Hannibal, Mexico, Missouri, heavy rainfall. Other than that, I'm not seeing any other damage reports within the tri-state area. We look to the Quad Cities, and so far it does not look like I've got any severe any damage reports just yet coming in. But it's sometimes these roll in a little bit late, a little bit after the situations have gone through the area. I would say if you are in the St. Paul area, I think you are out of the, if you're in the Houghton area, you're out of the woods. St. Paul, you are still under the gun for the potential for a very dangerous thunderstorm. Charleston to Nauvoo and to Donaldson, that is my main threat zone right now that I would really be worried about for everybody in parts of Lee County. Charleston, Nauvoo, into Fort Madison, the Franklin area also under a tornado warned storm. And then we hop up here to the Denmark, Iowa area, West Point, all under a tornado warned storm. Dallas City, as I said, even though you're not under the tornado warning, man, it is clipping close to you, and it is moving just a little bit slightly to the south and to the southeast. So I think it's possible the Dallas City area, that while they're not under the warning, could very well see the impacts of similar type of impacts as everybody else is seeing in Lee County. So we'll continue to stick with this and let you know if we've got any further, warnings that are issued. The storms that are just to the south of the tornado warned storms aren't quite as strong as they were earlier. They were producing some pretty decent wind gusts, at least on radar, but you can see a little bit here that looks like they are starting to die just in the Quincy area. Not saying we're not going to see some storms. Kyle's got a little bit of information for us. Kyle?
So it looks like the tornado warning in far northern Lee County, Iowa was just trimmed back, or trimmed northward, I should say. I want to zoom in right now. It looks like it's completely out of Lee County, just except for the far north central tip. So again, that just goes to show that the axis of rotation completely completely out of our viewing area to our north.
Good news. It looks as though if you're watching us and you're in the Mount Pleasant area, you're under the gun right now. So the rotation looks like it's to the north. Southern rotation still churning away north of the Nauvoo area, but I'm saying right now that this is just kind of, like I said, sort of progressing just slightly to the southeast. So this warning, while it was moving in this direction, it just looks like it's pulling to this edge of the warning polygon here. So Montrose now into Fort Madison area. We just had our latest radar update, and as I said, the Dallas City area, which is just outside of this red box, I think you stand a good chance to see. They may go ahead, Kyle.
I'm seeing on radar scope right now, it looks like the strongest axis of rotation is right over Fort Madison proper. So again, this is your time to make sure you are at the lowest level of your house. Of course, you don't want to be standing near any windows to try and get any photos. Hunker down. This is probably going to be out of the area in Fort Madison, likely within the next 10 to 15 minutes.
All right, so the Montrose area, while you guys are seeing a pretty good thunderstorm, some rain, remnants of rain, the circulation portion of this is pushed on to the north and to the northeast of you. So Donaldson, Montrose, you guys are out of a tornado threat at this time, although you are still seeing a pretty good intense thunderstorm that's progressing to the north and to the northeast. I'm surprised they haven't went ahead and issued here for Hancock County, at least for a severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like they've kind of continued severe thunderstorm warnings to the north, kind of overlapping the tornado warned storm that is in the Fort Madison area. But I do think that this storm, again, progressing toward the Dallas City, as I said, it looked to me like it's kind of turning in this direction. So Dallas City, while you're not under a warning, Brian Inman is saying you're going to get a pretty good thunderstorm there, and it likely will have some tree limbs that would be associated with that coming down. So be advised, if you are in the north and western portions of Hancock County, if you are west of the La Harpe area, and I'm seeing that rotation now just pop up here outside of the warned area. So they may hang on to this and may not issue, but it sure does look like it's an intense possibility there that there's some rotation going on in the Hancock County area. So that's tornado warned storm in Lee County. Still some rotation back here. Now approaching the Fort Madison area, just outside of Donaldson. Houghton has a severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like they're about ready to let that expire in Houghton, but that is again progressing to the north and to the northeast right now. We do have another message here. This is still watching the storm near Monroe City. The wind's picking up about 45 miles an hour in Hannibal. I did get that. There is a photo in Slack, Kyle, for us to look at. So that's something for us to see. I think at the St. Louis office. And this is what's progressing right now. So
yeah, that looks like a shelf cloud down near where you were mentioning near Monroe City.
Okay.
It looks like there's no really appreciable signature for any rotation, so that's good news. It's encouraging to me. So if anything, were to transpire, it would just be sub-tornado warned criteria. But I'm also looking back to the north. It looks as though the signal for rotation is becoming a little bit more broad near and just now to the north of downtown Fort Madison. So again, this is good news for our friends in northeast Lee County, Iowa. But still, this is at least going to be a damaging wind threat.
All right, so we continue to track this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Donaldson area, you're out of the woods. Montrose, while you're still seeing a pretty good thunderstorm, the rotation looks like it's to the north of you and up toward the Fort Madison area. But as Kyle was saying, rather broad rotation, not nearly as intense as it was before. We kind of had some really tight gate-to-gate shear that was going on, so I think that was a pretty good indicator that, and that's why they went ahead and issued the tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm-ish running through parts of Hancock County, although the National Weather Service has not issued a warning for this part of the storm down in Hancock County. I'm sure they're focusing on what's going on to the north of them. But man, it's a nasty looking thunderstorm that is north of the Carthage area that'll be rolling north of La Harpe, but right on top of Dallas City. So Dallas City, just on the very, very edge, very, very northern portion of the tri-state viewing area, is about ready to see a very intense thunderstorm to come down on Dallas City at this time. Fort Madison, I wish I had a tower cam in Fort Madison. I do not. The tower cam down in Keokuk is not showing a whole lot. It is showing a little bit of rain that's rolling across there right now, but that thunderstorm in particular is producing some torrential downpours. I don't have any reports of any wind damage just yet, but again, the National Weather Service does have that area under a tornado warning at this time. Some hail looks like it's indicated here in the Nauvoo area, so that is one thing that we really have been watching here. The tower cam in the Quincy area looks like it's about ready to be looking a little bit ominous as that thunderstorm approaches. So this is the KHQA tower cam as you're watching that. So some torrential downpours in Lee County, Iowa at this time. When we look at the downtown Quincy tower cam, we'll put it up and show you what it looks. It looks like some very, very heavy rainfall for the area. I don't think we've got any, let's see, lightning detected near the Quincy area. You just got a notification on your WGEM weather app for torrential downpours and lightning right into the tri-state area. So that is the latest that we've got. Again, one tornado warned storm here to the north of us, and that tornado warning valid until 6:30. I think we've got a couple updates here that talk about as far as everything is concerned.
Just looks like some of the severe thunderstorm warnings were canceled around north of the tri-states for Jefferson and Van Buren counties in Iowa.
Okay.
Earlier, the Clark County, Missouri severe thunderstorm warning was also canceled around 6:07.
Okay, so we are seeing what looks to be maybe a weakening of these thunderstorms while they have had the line was progressing, and we did have all of these kind of going bang, 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 one severe thunderstorm warning after another. I think as they kind of rolled through some of these areas where they actually got some ground truth on here, maybe some 45 mile an hour, 50 mile an hour wind gusts were the peaks on these, and so that would have been a reason for them to say, hey, let's hang back and not continue to issue numerous severe thunderstorm warnings if the actual criteria is not occurring. I don't have any damage reports just yet. If you've got any damage reports, please relay them. You can send them to weather@wgem.com. If you've got pictures, you can get on the WGEM weather app. You may submit them through the WGEM weather app. Let's just zoom tight here because I want to talk to everybody in Nauvoo. Everybody in Nauvoo, while you still got some pretty good rainfall there, you're out of the woods as far as a tornado. Then they just peeled it back. And so you're out of the woods. Fort Madison, you are what's left into Denmark. West Point still under the gun for the potential here. West Point in Iowa, in Lee County, not down here in Hancock County. We got two West Points in the viewing area. Denmark and West Point, Iowa. This is, if you're familiar with the West Point, Iowa, that's where they have the Shuck Fest every year. Fort Madison area under a tornado warned storm, and then we're going to hop across the river here and roll up into our next county up. So they just updated this tornado warning to peel off the area to the back, but West Point, Fort Madison still under the gun for tornado warning. And Dallas City, I'm telling you, you're going to see a really nasty thunderstorm. It is just about knocking on your door at this time. A severe thunderstorm looks severe to me, and you're probably technically under this little bit of a warning that's kind of overlaid or underlaid from the tornado warning itself. That is the last one that we're watching right now as far as severe in Iowa at this time. And I think what comes through after this should be sub-severe. While we may get an area overnight tonight that really just kind of congeals and drops down some heavy rainfall, this is not, don't get me wrong, it's knocking down some pretty impressive rainfall totals as it moves through, but it is moving at 50 miles an hour. So it doesn't have the, the time it has. Kyle?
So I'm continuing to see the rotation signature on radar scope again, and it looks as though the winds that are moving towards and away from where you're seeing right here where that tornado warning is, they're becoming more and more separated. Normally you would have to see the turning away and towards the winds, facing and going away from the radar to see that rotation become stronger. They're becoming further apart, so that rotation is becoming a bit more broader, if you will. So this is a good sign that this tornado warning may become obsolete within the next 5-10 minutes, because we likely are not going to be seeing a tornado on the ground in northeast Lee County, Iowa.
All right, that is good news. You are right, Kyle. Good news for us. Good news for the folks in Lee County, as this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado did have some pretty decent tight rotation, now showing some broader rotation, so not nearly as well defined. Not saying you can't get a lot of wind out of this, but an inflow wind out of this, but it is just not quite as strong as it was earlier. There's a nice pocket of some heavy rain and some hail south of the warned area. So if you are in the Dallas City area, if you are in La Harpe, you're going to see a really nasty thunderstorm, although the National Weather Service does not have a warning on that at this time. That tornado warned storm to the north, to me, it looks as if it's really poof. Kind of in the last scan or so here, looks as if it's anywhere, it's way up here to the north, but I think it's really starting to fizzle out, as Kyle was saying, getting broader and broader. Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, just to kind of speak on that more, I want to zoom in. I know this town's just outside of our viewing area, but Carmen, in Illinois, I did see a viewer report from Muscatine County. Someone took a picture of the skyline, and this is looking, it looks to be southwest towards the center of rotation, of which is becoming broader. It does not look like in the picture that the person sent in our Slack chat under the Quad Cities, it does not look like there's appreciable rotation at this time. So again, this continues to be encouraging news. And once again, this tornado warning is out to, I believe, 6:30 this evening. Yep,
that is welcome news. The time is now 6:17. Tornado time is now 6:17, and the tornado warning does continue until 6:30. If you are in the Denmark, Iowa area, you've got a pretty intense thunderstorm, but you're out of the woods as far as any tornadic activity. Same thing with West Point, Fort Madison. While we're showing a little bit of rotation down here, it's super broad, and you're kind of on the wrong side of things. With at least the way the tornadoes are the rotation is happening today, you're kind of on the wrong side of what's going on. But right now, it looks like it would be up toward the Dallas City area, and then rolling up into the Burlington, Iowa area. So this goes until 6:30, but that warning encompasses all of this area to the north of Lee County in Burlington area. So friends up in Burlington, be advised, a nasty thunderstorm getting ready to roll up on your doorstep here in just any minute or so. You know, we do still have some viewers in the Burlington area. West Point, Fort Madison, I'm going to say hang on just a little bit for you. The Dallas City area, man, that is a nasty thunderstorm for sure. I think, Kyle, while they haven't peeled that back just yet, we'll wait about another couple minutes, and then we might end this coverage a little bit early, because I think that tornado warned storm itself is starting to kind of lose its deal, and I think much of the area will be out of that warned storm. So Daniel and Raja and Mr. Sports Person, whoever that is, and Mr. Producer and Mr. Director, please be advised that we may be ending our wall-to-wall coverage here. We might be able to start up your newscast as it would be scheduled. So give us another couple minutes here. I just want to continue to watch this one storm down in Dallas City. Kyle?
In addition to that storm, I want to go ahead and zoom back out across the tri-states. Some other severe thunderstorm warnings to the south, now borderlining Quincy and including Hannibal. It was confirmed by National Weather Service St. Louis. There are currently no plans on reissuing that severe thunderstorm warning. And in fact, there was only 30 to 35 mile per hour winds that were reported near Hannibal proper. So again, this is really good news that with no reissuing of these warnings. Likely, again, this will not warrant continuing coverage throughout this evening.
Okay. All right, so again, we will continue to monitor what's going on here. If there are any more warnings that are issued, we'll pop on and let you guys know. I do have some concerns about the one that is in Hancock County, but there is no warning attached to it at all at this time. So that severe part of that storm that's rolling through the northern half of Lee County at this time is about ready to jump out of the Lee County area, and it's really become a much more broader rotation, not for us, I think, to be too concerned about. So at this time, we are going to conclude our wall-to-wall coverage of tornado warned storms. We're going to take a break, and then we'll be right back with some news.
WGEM First Alert Weather is always on the WGEM First Alert Weather app. Watch live updates on the WGEM News app and WGEM's Facebook page.